Welcome back to another episode of the Bear Trap on the Boomer Buzz channel, a Bears podcast by a Bears fan. I'm your host, Terry, and today, talking about the Bears versus the Broncos, a little bit of a preview. Here we are again talking about our Bears. But you know what? I came to a epiphany. I was doing some soul searching, and I realized, that we just got to agree to disagree with me and a lot of these fans. I've said before, but I do really realize that I have that bit of a bias coming from a coaching perspective. But that's fine because in reality, in the NFL, it's been confirmed that they will throw people under the bus. Literally, not literally, but they will throw people under the bus, not just so the fans can say yay, but really so that the owners or somebody, because the owners are number of powerful fans, so that somebody can say, "Oh, okay, we're doing something." And I've pointed it out for years with the Bears. I mean, obviously nobody's going to confess to it now, but you go back into the past, like us changing the O-line coach and stuff, and people arguing tooth and nail with me how it's going to make a difference, and I don't know what I'm talking about, bro. I've said it every time. Unless it is a extremely toxic situation like a Urban Meyer, getting rid of a coach mid-season or any point in the season does not matter. It gains you nothing. There's no savior coming in. And so, again, unless you got a toxic situation where it's just, better for the whole team in the locker room if that person is removed, then that's one thing. But in terms of football, that's not going to help you, almost guaranteed to set you back. So, for people calling for people jobs, like, again, people saying they want Luke Getsy to get fired, what exactly do you think is going to happen after that? Or that you want Eberflus fired? What do you think is going to happen? We fire our head coach. Someone from his staff is going to coach. Or you do something crazy like the Colts and bring in a person who's never coached in the NFL randomly off TV and ask them to take over, and we see how well that went. So let's come on. We agree to disagree. Everybody wants to blame the coaches. They want them gone. They want to say they can't coach and all that. Again, I refuse to believe that these people that made it to a certain level and that I've watched, like there's not one argument you could give me that Eberflus don't know how to coach defense. Are you serious? Did you see what his resume is? Like, and it's possible that you can be a part of something and not really gain a lot from it. It's kind of hard in the coaching ranks, but once you get to a certain level, but he was the coordinator for the defense, so I think he knows something about defense. But it's that same thing. Whatever winning is what's the hot thing. It's a copycat league. Everybody wants to sit here and tell you what you have to do in the NFL, and yet, especially over these last 5 years, we've seen so many different strategies, so many different philosophies, so many different types of teams win. But yeah, everyone seems to think you have to be one way. Like they sit here and say, "Oh, it's archaic." I see somebody say that, like, it's archaic to run a 4-3. What? What do you talk? First of all, you're in nickel most of the time, so your base front doesn't matter. That tells me, number one, you don't know what you're talking about. But number two, like, how's it archaic? What happened to the game that has changed? That I'm missing out on because people throw more screens and they might pass more, that they do RPOs now. All of a sudden, everything that worked before doesn't work anymore. That's not true. So again, that and now I'm ranting a little bit, but overall, I'll just agree to disagree. And it very well could be that these guys can't coach, and maybe we'll see more blatant evidence of that. But at the end of the day, we're not in the locker room. We're not at practice. We're not in the meetings. We don't know what's happening. And so it's easy to sit here and to say the cliche, if it happened under your watch, it's your responsibility, or the team came out looking like crap, so it's your fault one way or the other. That's fine. Like I said, people will see a coach win, and hear the speeches or see the little things they do, and they're like, "Whoa!" Like, I remember Club Dub. Everybody's going crazy that first year. Club Dub is so genius. It's so smart. Like we gotta hype the players up. He really understands morale. How was Club Dub that second year? How did Club Dub hit? What the players say about Club Dub after they was losing all the time? So you can sit here and try to point to things that you think is evidence that a person's a good coach, but the fact of the matter is you don't really know unless you're there. You come on now, we're talking 95% of their time is spent away from the cameras. So it's going to be a very difficult argument with a random fan to tell me that they're bad coaches and we don't know their game plans. We don't know any of that. But again, like I said, a lot of people just gonna be like, okay, we're not playing good, so the coach sucks. Okay, fine. I don't believe that. It's the same way that coaches can go back to a team or go to another team and perform well. It is, and I don't know why this is hard for everybody because I keep saying it. But again, maybe it's the boring answer. It's a team sport. It's a combination of everything. There is no coach that's going to come in with all fourth stringers and he's such a great coach that he's going to make them a contender. Like even if whoever the greatest coach you think that it is, they're not doing that. Most people think Pat Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league right now. He's not going to the Giants and making them a contender without Saquon, with all these backups. He's not going behind a bunch of second string linemen or the Jets line and lighting it up. It's just not happening. We already seen what happened to Pat Mahomes when he had second string linemen. So as good as you are, and when you're elite, you can elevate people to a certain extent, but it's very small. Like in my mind, at the most, you can be 35% of the reason the team wins. At the most, that's highest level. Period. There's still a whole majority of the rest of the team that has to come together, and that's including the players, the coaching staff, the training staff, the support staff, the front office, the what is that dude called? The owner. Like that all has to play together and it has to line up just right. That's why Super Bowls are hard to win consistently. So that's my thought. I'm gonna just have to disagree on that. I mean, we can talk about Fields and everything else, but I'm not sitting here throwing these coaches under the bus, especially when I know for a fact that Trubisky and Justin Fields frustrates the offensive staff because they're not able to execute what they want to execute. And people make it as simple as, hey, they shouldn't just want to do their system. They got to switch the system to fit the shrinks. And first of all, not as easy as people want to make it out to be. Second of all, there are some things that are foundational. And that was the issue with Trubisky and Justin Fields right now. I don't even have to be there to know that. I can tell that from the field because, again, there's no way two different coaches from two different coaching trees came in and said, hey, we're just going to run hitches all the time. Now, I'm sure that's not the system they want to be running right now. But there's certain things that are foundational abilities. If you can't do the foundational abilities, what makes you think you can add everything? This is what kills me, and I'm ranting now, I'm sorry. I'll get to the game soon. But this is what kills me because I hear it all the time in coaching. Like, everybody wants to add more and do new things. How are we going to add and do new things when you can't even do the basic fundamental things? You have Justin Fields telling you he's overwhelmed with all the information, and you talking about you want to do something new. You want to add on things. That to me is always been a very confusing thing, and I've yet to see it. You've seen people simplify things and get better results in the short term, not long term. But you ain't never seen somebody say, wow, this isn't working. Let's advance everything. Let's add in all these new things, and I'm sure we'll get a better result. No. They barely have practice time as it is these days. There's no way that's going to happen. Like, again, you will simplify some things and you will stick to some core things, but it's certain, like I said, it's foundational things that if I'm seeing my quarterback can't even do that, what makes you think I could open up the playbook? So I just, again, for me, there's definitely things that, especially as a play caller, that I wish Luke Getsy would get better at, and it's been very confusing. Um, but at the same time, I'm not ready to say he can't coach. And the defense, I mean, that we, I mean, we got better talent, but man, we knew what it was. Like, I don't understand what people thought that defense was going to do. Like, I don't care who you bring in. And so there are things again that you can adjust and all that, but to sit here and for me to say Eberflus doesn't know how to coach, that's silly. Now it might be a case where they're in a situation where the ego's getting in front or they're panicking in the moment. Fine, whatever, maybe. But in long terms, I mean, as a coach to another coach, I'm not sitting here saying these dudes don't know football or can't coach. There's no way I'm going to say that. All right, so looking at this game, I honestly think we got a chance. I see a lot of people talking about getting blown out. I don't really understand that. I mean, besides the fact the Broncos just gave up 70 points, and I mean the Broncos because, yes, the defense was the biggest perpetrator, but the offense turned the ball over so much too and gave the defense, even a worse time. Honestly, up until close to halftime, it was still a game. And the offense contributed to that as well by fumbling twice and, all those different things. So I'm not going to sit here and just say, oh, the defense is bad, even though it is. The whole team gave up 70 points. So with that being said, I don't see why we couldn't. Now, here's the thing, like just looking at matchups, yeah, we won't have Braxton and Darnell Wright is struggling. Randy Gregory and I'm blanking on who's the other one. I just saw his name. Who's their other end? Frank Clark. So older guys, veteran guys. I don't think they got the juice they used to. Obviously, they haven't done a lot this year. And Frank might not play, might. But either way, those are veteran guys. They're going to be able, first of all, they're going to get excited because they're excited to go against bad tackles, as everybody is. And then they're going to have some moves and, different tricks that are going to trip up Darnell Wright and everything. Most veterans that stick around this long study well. So I think the edge is really going to get threatened against Justin Fields, and that can be bad, but that is negated if we come out sticking to a healthy run game. And I don't mean run the same play over and over. I don't mean Justin Fields running over and over. I mean a healthy, versatile run game. I don't think that's going to happen. I haven't seen that in the last two regimes. But if we do, that slows the DNs up a little bit. Obviously, that opens up play action, things of that nature. So I think it's definitely possible because the rest of the D-line, they definitely lost some key guys. And the D-line in general hasn't been dominating anybody. In the secondary, Simmons might not play. He might. He hasn't practiced this week. I mean, without him, that's a huge blow. You do got Patrick Surtain. Not like we've been targeting DJ Moore a whole lot, but he likes to travel, so he might be with DJ Moore. But again, as you saw, like even I said it before, elite corner does not mean that the defense is going to play well. So even if he does his job, I think there's going to be opportunities. So this defense, in general terms, if you're just talking about how they've been performing, absolutely can get got. But then when you look at the matchups as well, I do think in the run game, especially if Josie Jewell's out, we definitely have a chance to dictate the tempo and grind the clock and, get down the field and get first downs and work the play actions. Pretty much kind of what the Bears are used to. I wouldn't say what this offensive staff wants to do, but what the Bears are used to, running the ball, controlling the clock, getting a couple play action shots, and then playing defense. Defense is really, to me, going to be the bigger question. We got some backups in the secondary. Looks like Brisker's going to play, but still, Russ Wilson's been playing better. But their offensive line isn't great. It's better than it was last year, but it's not great. And so we'll see. We'll really have to see. Sean Payton's been up his own butt. I'm not gonna lie. I have to give him that fair criticism because you just don't need to talk crap like that in the media. And so he's been up his own butt. So we'll see if he follows the game plan of all the teams that have faced us before. I would say, I mean, the Chiefs did it a little bit too. The Chiefs just, they're the Chiefs. They could go out and play us straight up. But pretty much every other team focused heavily on the misdirection, perimeter running, to take advantage of our aggression. And we'll see. But I do see a case where the Broncos want to line up and run the ball, and they want to just straight drop back pass. And I mean, they don't necessarily have those type of athletes. I mean, Jerry Jeudy, yeah, but P. Ryan, Javonte Williams, Sutton, like all those guys, they're not really those type of athletes. So I'm not saying that they couldn't put in some plays, especially for certain guys, but I wonder if they're going to try to play us straight up without too much misdirection and all those different things. And if that's the case, I do think we could collapse that pocket a little bit. And I do think that especially if they try to run through the inside the box, I think we'll be pretty great. I mean, our D tackles aren't going to give up a lot of ground, and our linebackers like the field. So that might be tailor-made to us. We'll see how sophisticated they try to get on offense, but so far it's been pretty meat and potatoes. And again, they turned the ball over, but they were moving the ball on the Dolphins defense pretty easy, and Dolphins defense hasn't been great either. So we'll see, man. I haven't seen the secondary break coverages too often yet. It's just mainly been one-on-one wins and, not having a lot of pressure, giving the quarterback too much time. So we'll see. I think we'll probably blitz and everything, but I think this team can get got. I think absolutely Russell Wilson and that offensive line, I think there's a chance that we can create some pressure there. The receivers are pretty good. I'm not going to sit here and say we win that matchup, but I definitely think our secondary has been solid in our overall coverage. And the run game is definitely going to be tough, but if they want to kind of, go power for power, gap for gap, then I think we'll be fine. I honestly do, but we'll see. We'll see what type of game plan they come out with. But either way, I don't think their offense is explosive where they're going to, put up points in 3 plays or anything. And I definitely don't think their defense is, shutting down to the point where we're 3 and out every time. Now, this is going to tell us a lot about both teams. It's being touted as 2 terrible teams, tanking for Caleb and all that. And I'm not even going to address the Caleb Williams stuff yet. I think overall, I guess I will address it. I guess overall, to talk about Caleb Williams and getting a new coach and a new GM at this point is so silly to me. And it's literally like me watching Nagy now where everybody's calling for new coaches and stuff and how much better it is going to be. Then we get it, and then they turn on them, and then the cycle starts over. So I'm not sure why Bears fans are so keen on this, but that's fans in general. But I think it's a silly conversation right now. So anyway, this is going to tell us a lot. I really do think so because Sean Payton has the ability, and you should, any coach, be looking at what people have done to the Bears and be emulating some of that into your game plan. You shouldn't be out here in your basic stuff. And then the same goes for the Bears. Now, I do see a situation, like I said, where we could absolutely have Justin Fields under attack all game again. And we know that even if everything's clean, it ain't guaranteed he's going to make the play. So it's definitely going to be darn near impossible if he's under siege again. But But that's going to be up to the offense to really, again, game plan to a point where you could get him comfortable. And you could say that obviously they haven't done that all season. But again, this is why you got that chance. I mean, the Chiefs defense has been rolling. They've been together for a while, so they're playing, really great. The Packers defense was fully healthy. That's a talented team. I don't care what anyone says. Who else did we lose to? Who did we play? Oh, we played the Bucks. That's a talented defense as well, in my opinion. I know they're giving up numbers, but come on, most of them won a championship together. This is the first defense that, even though they were great last year, they're missing some pieces. People are hurt and they're just not performing well. So this is a game where you, as a coach, if you worth your salt as a coordinator, and what a coordinator's job actually is to game plan for the opponent. So what the plan it looks like coming out against them is going to tell me a lot. And the same thing goes for Sean Payton and Eberflus and everything. I'm very curious because this is week 4. We got blueprints. The same blueprint has worked against the Bears defense this whole time. So let's see if Sean Payton picks that up. Vice versa. The same. I wouldn't say the same because I didn't watch every game intently, but the Broncos have been getting gashed every game. Let's see if we pick that up and play to our strengths with Getsy. And then let's see how the defense performs even with those backups. If they come out, and they probably will early on, if they're coming out and giving us their basic stuff, let's see us fly to the ball and stop. And I really think it's a possibility we can. So I do think that. Well, I know that I will be picking the Bears, and at least one ticket I'll have them like +3 or +5 or something. I do think it'll be close if we lose, but I do think there's a chance that we win. I think absolutely. And then at the end of the day, what we all wish and hope is that if the offense is working, then you unleash Justin Fields as a runner, and then the defense feels like there's nothing they can do. And so at the end of the day, we always got that weapon. Now, I know everybody wants to use that weapon first, and so does Justin Fields. That's not smart football. That's the weapon you want to pull out last. So, that's kind of my thoughts on it. I know everybody's kind of checking it off, but I really think we got a chance. So go down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Share around, get the conversation started. Thumbs up, subscribe, and remember, stay up and bear down.